This has gone horribly, horribly wrong. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dugout Football channel, where it is time to react to my Premier League predictions of the 2020-21 Premier League season, in a season where it has been very, very unpredictable, you'd have to say, with lots of home teams struggling at home, empty stadiums, etc. It hasn't been a good season for that, and obviously fans watching at home. But it's been a very, very good season watching it on TV. But yeah, football without the fans is absolutely nothing. We've also had the blooming European Super League that lasted about 2 to 3 days. Everyone had a chance to get that stopped, and everyone managed to do that as well. But we're not here for the European Super League and all this nonsense. We're here to react to my Premier League predictions, and let's see how many I get right, how many I get wrong, and yeah, some of these are not the best of predictions. But let's start things off with 20th place. 20th place was Sheffield United. I had Sheffield United to be 12th. I'm going to be honest, straight honest here. I didn't see Sheffield United getting relegated. I never saw them getting relegated. I thought they were going to have a season. Okay, a season, they finished 9th last season, and they had a season where, they had a season where they finished 9th, and then I thought this season would be able to, just stabilise themselves as a Premier League club, but it hasn't been that way. They never really strengthened the squad. Obviously, one of the signings was Aaron Ramsdale, who, it has been a good signing for it has been a good signing. They did sign Ryan Brewster. That obviously hasn't worked either. Jaden Bogle, I think, was another one from Derby as well, and they did lose Chris Wilder as well, so it hasn't been the best season for Sheffield United. But what you can say is that some of their results have been, they got 23 points, which I think is very, very respectable. They're not going to finish as one of the the worst teams in the Premier League era, but to be bottom for so long, and not getting a point as well. I think their first winner was against Newcastle. I think that came back in January, so you could already tell that the writing was on the wall then. But Sheffield United have just appointed Slavica Jokanovic as their new manager. I think that's a cracking bit of business by Sheffield United, and I think Slavica Jokanovic will do well. But yeah, that's the first prediction that, let's be honest, has gone a bit pear-shaped in that one. Sheffield United finished bottom of the Premier League. Now we move on to 19th place, and 19th place was West Bromwich Albion, and I actually had West Brom to finish bottom of the table. Well, I will say it has been an absolute car crash from start to finish for the Baggies. What I will say is that the way that West Brom decided to get rid of Slaven Bilic after what was, a very respectable 1-1 draw with Manchester City at the Etihad, to get rid of him was ridiculous. Yes, they didn't strengthen in the summer. They hardly strengthened in the summer. Carlon Grant was a good signing to begin with, and then he's obviously gone off the wall for sure. And another good bit of business was Matis Pereira. I think Matis Pereira has been absolutely outstanding for West Brom this season, but it was another story in Sam Johnston, who has been fantastic this season for West Brom. But the other thing I will say is I think that West Brom got Sam Allardyce. They never backed him, and that was a big mistake from West Brom, because West Brom's form after that completely went downhill. They were always going to go down this season. I had them to finish bottom, so I'm happy that I managed to get them to be predicting very, very close to where they actually finished. But for me, they were doomed from start to finish, especially when Sam Allardyce came in. You don't bring Sam Allardyce in unless you've got money to spend, and that's what West Brom didn't do, and unfortunately their results contributed to that. Losing so many games at home as well. So West Brom 19th, could have been bottom, but they finished 19th. 18th place with Fulham. I actually had them to be 19th, so I got 2 out of the 3 in the relegation zone. What I will say, Fulham didn't score many goals at all this season. That has been their story of their season. They don't score enough goals. I think they only scored, let me think about this, 9 goals at home this season, which is the lowest of anybody in the Premier League. I think Sheffield United even scored more of the goals than them at home this season. Fulham, Scott Parker is a good manager. What they didn't do right this time was, well, they didn't overspend like they did the last time, but for way too many players in, and they had time for them to not gel as a team. The mistake that they made was that they didn't spend at all. They did not spend a single... I mean, obviously, Anthony Robinson, I think, from Wigan was a very good signing. They obviously brought in Areola from PSG as well. But the thing is, I honestly don't think... the way that, Fulham have done this season is... It's disappointing that they've gone down. I do think Scott Parker is a good manager. I do think he will come back, but... I don't think Fulham will come back up straight away. I honestly don't. I think the 3 that have gone down might actually take a bit of a season to get used to the Championship again, and we'll see what we'll see what happens. But for me, Fulham, yes, they've had some memorable results. Anfield, Leicester City away as well. Those 2 were fantastic. 1-1 draw with Manchester United at Old Trafford as well. So. They are a good team, Fulham. They are a good team, but they do need to definitely strengthen in the summer for sure. And they will definitely be back, but I don't think they'll be back straight away. So 18th place Fulham, I had them 19th. So 2 out of 3 in the relegation zone, not too bad so far. So this is where it gets a little bit pear-shaped, shall we say. 17th place was Burnley. I predicted them to be 13th. The fact that they are bottom of the rest is disappointing. But one thing you can say, Sean Dyche has managed to keep them in the Premier League yet again. The guy does a very good job. He's managed to get Chris Wood scoring as well, which is always good to see. Chris Wood definitely came out of his shell this season. I think he's been fantastic. It's also going to be interesting to see which players they're going to be able to keep, because Nick Pope has been very, very good. James Tarkowski has also been really good as well. Dwight McNeil, yes, he hasn't had the best of seasons, but you have to say that Burnley have had a good season, and they managed to stay in the Premier League again. 17th place. I think they'll be very disappointed with that. But even then, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be absolutely fine. So, 17th place, Burnley. Lots to improve on next season for sure. And then we move on to 16th place, and it is Brighton and Hove Albion, and I had them to be 15th. What you can say about Brighton is they topped so many XGs, expected goals. Well, look, Graham Potter's done a very good job at Brighton. There's no denying that. But Graham Potter has done a very, very good job at Brighton. But he has struggled to get players in. Now, Bissouma has been fantastic. I think he's going to probably move on in the summer. Danny Welbeck has been a very good signing as well. They are going to have to sign players to replace players that will go for sure. Shane Duffy's gone back to Brighton as well from Celtic on loan. So Brighton have got a good squad ahead of them. It's just about whether they can strengthen in the right places, I would say. So Brighton, good enough season. I don't think they were in any relegation trouble. I know there was a lot of things about them having a relegation battle with Newcastle, but were they really in any danger? With Fulham, the amount of goals that Fulham scored at home, Brighton managed memorably beat Manchester City by 3-2 as well. That was in their final home game as well. So Brighton have had a very, very good season. So it's all about whether they can, strengthen next season, and I think Brighton will be absolutely fine. So 16th place Brighton. I did predict them to be 15th. So yeah, quite close, but no cigar, as they say. 15th place we now move on to, and it is Southampton. Yeah, I had them 9th. I don't know what I was thinking when I was predicting these back in August, but obviously I did say Southampton to be 9th, which is very, very weird. But Southampton has been a roller coaster of a season for the Saints. First half was very, very good. You know, they were fighting for top 4. They were fighting for Europe. And then, you know, the second half of the season, it just went completely downhill, including 9-0 defeat to Manchester United, another 9-0 defeat as well. You know, back-to-back seasons as well. It's not good. And I think Southampton are a good side. I don't think they're going to be in any relegation trouble, as many people were predicting. I don't see it. I really, really don't see it. And even if they are, I just don't see Southampton being in any relegation trouble at all. Che Adams is a very, very good striker. Stuart Armstrong as well. James Ward-Prowse, undoubtedly their player of the season by a long, long way. Ryan Bertrand has now left the club as well. And they do have 3 goalkeepers at the club. We've got Alex McCarthy, Angus Gunn, and who's the other one? Fraser Forster. So they're going to have to make a decision on who's going to move. I would obviously say it's probably going to be Angus Gunn, because I think it'll probably be, you know, Forster and McCarthy. But Southampton 15th, disappointing season. But again, I don't think they're in any relegation trouble whatsoever. So Southampton 15th. 14th place was Crystal Palace, and I predicted them to be 16th. So better than expected for Crystal Palace. Look, Crystal Palace have been a very, very good side under Roy Hodgson. He is now gone, so it's going to be really, really intriguing to see who comes in to replace Roy Hodgson as Crystal Palace manager. Now, it has been mentioned that Eddie Howe has been mentioned for Palace. At the time of recording, he has had talks with Celtic collapsed, so could he be back in the running for the Crystal Palace manager's job? Frank Lampard has also been mentioned for Crystal Palace, but whoever they get, it's going to have to be the right one, because Crystal Palace, you do worry if they do. They have obviously lost Hodgson, who, look, let's be honest, Hodgson stabilised the club, managed to keep them in the Premier League, so that was always a good thing. But the one thing you can say about you know, Hodgson is that he managed to get his players playing. Wilfred Zaha is still at the club. Now, look, to me, Wilfred Zaha, in my opinion, is probably going to leave in the summer. You know, he's probably going to move on. Eze has been a very good signing for Crystal Palace. Unfortunately, he's now injured for the rest of the season. Now, that is a big, big blow for Crystal Palace fans, because Eze has been fantastic. I think he has outshone Wilfred Zaha this season. Christian Benteke finally got, you know, going again. Jordan Ayew did start the season well, and then, you know, kind of faded away. So even then, Crystal Palace are going to have to, you know, definitely improve their squad. But yeah, I think they need to make the right manager, the manager, the right choice next season, because if they don't, it could be a long season. It could be a long, long season for Crystal Palace. So it'll be interesting to see who is the new manager of Crystal Palace. That should be announced very, very soon, but we will see what happens with that one. But 14th place, better than expected for Crystal Palace, I would say, as well. 13th place, quite surprising, I would also say, is Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I predicted them to be 8th. Yeah, I don't get why. Look, honestly, Wolves, I don't know where I had the idea of them finishing 8th this season, but they obviously didn't do well this season. Look, injuries aside, Raul Jimenez is a huge loss. Absolutely huge loss to Wolverhampton Wanderers. The one thing you can say is that they have not done well without him. Willian Jose came in. He's not been the answer. Adama Traore has, you know, been hit and miss this season. But, you know, if you have a serious injury to one of your star strikers, then you're always going to struggle, unfortunately. And that has been the case for Wolves, and Nuno Espirito Santo is now gone, so another club that definitely needs to get the right man in to see what happens with them. in my opinion, it's probably going to be somebody maybe Portuguese that comes in because, half their squad is now Portuguese. You think of the players that are there: Patricio, Semedo, Ruben Neves, João Moutinho, Pedro Neto, Daniel Podence. There's loads of Portuguese players there. So it's going to have to be someone right to get in. But people will say Wolves, are they really in a relegation battle? No, I honestly don't see it. So Wolves, very disappointing season. Very, very disappointing season. I thought they would be a lot higher than they actually finished, but they finished 13th as well. 12th place, I would say this is better than expected. Newcastle United. I predicted them to be 14th. Newcastle, there was a lot of times in that season where, they started very well, and then almost certainly they were in the relegation zone. They were in and out of the relegation zone, but the one thing you can say is that Steve Bruce has managed to get them to 12th place. I think that's a very respectable finish for Steve Bruce. And you know what? Callum Wilson has been a very good signing for the Magpies as well. So it's a very, very good finish for Newcastle. But you would have to say that another thing about Newcastle is that if they are going to get rid of Steve Bruce, they definitely need to get the right manager in as well. But I don't see Steve Bruce going. And that's the thing. Will he get money to spend on the team? Be interesting. Be very, very interesting to see. But Newcastle United finished in 12th. I think that's a very, very good season in the end for them because they weren't going anywhere before they brought Bill Willock. And Willock has been a fantastic signing. So can they get him back on permanent? We shall see. But 12th place Newcastle, good, respectable finish for the Magpies in there. 11th place Aston Villa, and I'm going to apologise on every single behalf of Aston Villa supporters. I had you to be relegated this season. Look, Aston Villa, wherever you were going to finish this season was definitely going to be progress. I think you'll be slightly disappointed that you were in the running to, be in the European places. Just hasn't happened for you. But 11th place, I think, is much, much better than obviously being, 17th last season. Jack Grealish been very, very good. Ollie Watkins been very, very good. But the signing of the summer for me, Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez, fantastic goalkeeper. Fantastic signing that you made from Arsenal. And probably Arsenal got rid of the wrong goalkeeper, I would say, as well. So very, very well done to Aston Villa for that. They've got a good spine in their squad now. Martinez, Konza, Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, Ollie Watkins, Jack Grealish, Bertrand Traore or Trezeguet. You've got a very, very good squad there. Their best result, obviously, they've had some very, very impressive results. 3-0 at Arsenal, 7-2 against Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool fans, I have to mention that again. Hopefully that doesn't happen next season. But I tell you something, Aston Villa have had a very, very, very good season in 11th place. So 10th place was Everton, and I got this one spot on. So I've managed to get one right. There we go. 1 out of 10 so far, so it's not going very well. But Everton, disappointing season. I mean, everyone said at the start of last season and at the end of the transfer window, Everton won the transfer window. You think of the signings that they brought in: Alan, Doucouré, James Rodriguez. And just ever since then, the home form at Goodison Park was an absolute shocker. Absolute shocker indeed. They have been better away from home, but even then, I would say that Everton definitely need to improve under Carlo Ancelotti, for sure. But Everton, disappointing season, considering that they were top of the league for the first 5 to 6 weeks of the season as well. So they definitely need to, improve on that finish. But it was their home form that let them down. Away form, memorable results at Anfield. First derby win in 20 years at Anfield. And you know what? It was a very, very good result for them. But Yeah, 5-0 defeat to Manchester City on the final day. Not a good end to the season. So Everton definitely need to improve next season. 9th place was Leeds United, and I actually had them to be 11th. Now, Leeds United, let's be honest, have had a very good season under Marcelo Bielsa. The only thing I will say, though, defensively, I think you're an absolute shambles. But Rafinha, Rodrigo, Stuart Dallas, Patrick Bamford, Calvin Phillips, and Melier, the goalkeeper. I think they've been the standouts this season for a long, long time. Leeds were unbeaten against the top 6 at home as well in the Premier League. I think it was only, let me think, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, they drew, and they beat Tottenham. And drew with Chelsea. So 5 draws and 1 win. So that was good form going into, that top 6 as well. So Leeds United, it was great to see them back at Elland Road. Leeds fans are a noisy bunch, you'd have to say. But it was good to see. It was really, really good to see. So very, very well done to Marcelo Bielsa. Well done to Leeds United at 9th place. I think that's a great, great season for you guys. 8th place, Arsenal. I predicted them to be 6th. What I will say, it has been the worst season of Arsenal's Premier League history by a long way. Out of Europe for the first time in 25 years. That actually might benefit Arsenal. Might actually benefit them having a season out of Europe, because they have been terrible all season. The fact that they managed to get 8th was, very, very good. Yes, on the final day they could have easily got that Conference League spot, but obviously, they didn't get it in the end. But the damage was done by November, December. Who would have thought this Arsenal team would have been in a relegation battle? I don't think anyone would have envisaged that. So, Arsenal definitely need to improve next season. Aubameyang was an absolute disgrace all season. Once he signed his new contract, he just didn't play well. It looks like Bellerin's going to be moving on. It looks like Xhaka might be moving on as well. So, it looks like they're going to get rid of some of the deadwood that are at Arsenal as well. But a massive improvement needs to be done from the Gunners. 7th place, Tottenham. I had them to be 5th. Again, another bad season for Tottenham Hotspur. They are in the Europa Conference League, which I think is absolutely hilarious. But Jose Mourinho was sacked after the Super League debacle. And results just didn't go their way as well. Ryan Mason did come in, saved Tottenham as well. To be fair, Tottenham did save Chelsea from not being in the top 4 as well. So that wasn't good. Carabao Cup appearance against Manchester City, they were just terrible in that game as well. Harry Kane has been their star man and managed to get the golden boot. So very, very well done to Harry Kane for that. But even then, Tottenham definitely need to improve next season. Who they get in is another matter. Could be Pochettino again. That would be incredible if Pochettino managed to go back there. But will that make Harry Kane stay? Time will tell. But we'll see who goes in at Tottenham. And again, that has to be the right appointment as well. 6th place, West Ham United. I predicted West Ham to be 17th. Yes. Not a good prediction, that one. But what I will say, West Ham have had a fabulous season under David Moyes. David Moyes deserved a lot of credit. His first full season in charge of West Ham, incidentally, as well. Jesse Lingard coming in was a big plus for West Ham. Thomas Soucek and Vladimir Coufal, they were both in my team of the season, and rightly so. I think both of them have been fantastic signings for West Ham. And they are now in the Europa League, and it looks like they will probably go into the group stage, which is absolutely magnificent news for the Hammers as well. So it's great news about West Ham. Thoroughly deserved. David Moyes done a very, very good job. Now he needs money to spend and just strengthen that squad. Jesse Lingard will be going back to Manchester United. Will they be able to get him to come back? Be interesting to see. But West Ham, fantastic season. 6th place. I don't think anyone would have predicted West Ham to be 6th. And certainly not me. So apologies, West Ham supporters. 5th place is Leicester City, and I predicted them to be 7th. But what so much more it could have been for Leicester City in the top 4 for 37 out of 38 game weeks. Really, really unfortunate. Look, before James Justin had got his injury, I thought he was one of the best fullbacks in the league. Very, very good. Tielemans has been very, very good for Leicester City as well. Iheanacho came into his own as well. Again, though, Leicester City's home form is a bit of a concern. The amount of defeats that they've had, and to really, really strange teams as well. Fulham, Newcastle, really, really strange defeats that they've had. But Leicester City, I mean, an FA Cup win as well was fantastic to see as well. But it's all about top 4. It's all about the Champions League. And unfortunately, they've just missed out yet again, which is disappointing. But Brendan Rodgers, you'd have to say, is a great season for Leicester City. Absolutely great season for Leicester City. It's going to be really interesting to see who they can bring in next season. But Leicester City will be disappointed with 5th place. But very good season nonetheless. And then we move into the top 4, and 4th place was Chelsea, and I predicted them to be 3rd, but Chelsea were extremely lucky to be in the top 4 because they lost to Aston Villa and they had to rely on Tottenham beating Leicester to get in top 4. Look, if you spend £227.8 million in the summer, you're expected to be a lot higher than you actually are. I thought they would have been at least challenging City for the title, City and Liverpool for the title for sure. But it hasn't gone out that way. Frank Lampard was sacked in January. In came Thomas Tuchel, came in and gave his all for Chelsea. And that did work. But just ever since then, it's gone a little bit sour. Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, those signings, will they work? I mean, Timo Werner has been hit and miss. Kai Havertz hasn't really had the chance to get his teeth into the Chelsea team. Thiago Silva's been a good signing, and also Mendy has been a good signing as well. Chilwell, he's been good as well. So, FA Cup final appearance, disappointing to lose that 1-0. They are in the Champions League final. Be interesting to see what happens in that game, because who knows what will happen, but should be a really interesting cup final, that one. Chelsea in 4th place. Liverpool in 3rd place now. I predicted us to be champions, and let's be honest, it has been a bit of a lacklustre season for Liverpool. But look, who would have envisaged us to be anywhere near the top 3 after the season that we have had? 22 Premier League centre-back partnerships. That is more than the Premier League teams combined. There are 20 Premier League teams, remember, and we've had 22 Premier League centre-back partnerships. Absolutely amazing. And obviously, we have signed Ibrahim Kanati today as well. So, yeah, that's a good signing for Liverpool, and hopefully he will stay fit. Him and Van Dijk at the back, that is quite exciting. That is quite exciting to have as a Liverpool fan as well. But Thiago, Jota, Tsimikas were the only signings in the summer. Jota has worked. Thiago will get better. I can definitely say that. Thiago will definitely get better. There were signs for sure since in the last couple of games that he's been fantastic. Alisson has had a season of mixed feelings, you'd have to say. He lost his dad, and he scores a header to keep Liverpool's top 4 hopes alive, and that was obviously the goal that managed to get them top 4, because Liverpool went on to win the next couple of games after that. So I'm pleased with 3rd. We got Champions League football, but no trophies. Disappointing in that aspect. So lacklustre season, but very relieved to be top 4. 2nd place, Manchester United. I predicted them to be 4th. Manchester United have had a good season, but they'll be disappointed by the Europa League final. They never turned up in that game. Villarreal had a game plan from start to finish, and they executed it to perfection as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is definitely now under a lot of pressure to deliver as Manchester United manager. He now has the summer to get his players in. Manchester United had a good away form. They managed to stay unbeaten for another year away from home, which is always good to see. But home form was their downer this season. Losses to Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham. Sheffield United was a very strange result. I don't think anyone would have expected them to have lost to Sheffield United. They drew 3-3 with Everton. as well. So there were some really interesting games in there, and they lost to Crystal Palace as well, if you remember. That was the start of the season as well. So it was all doom and gloom then, but second place is a good finish for Manchester United, but they'll definitely be demanding trophies next season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So that leaves Manchester City as champions. I predicted them to be second. Look, I don't think anyone would have expected City to have won the title when, you know, both United and City were actually 14th and 13th respectively, I think in October, November. But ever since then, 28 matches unbeaten for Manchester City, went on to win the title. Very, very comfortable in the end. Very, very good for Manchester City. And, you know, League Cup, well, they were always going to win that. And they've obviously won the title as well, so it's a double. Now they've got the Champions League final. Could they make it a treble? Could be interesting. Could be very, very interesting for sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But Gundogan, very, very good. Cancelo, very, very good. Diaz, Football Writers Association Player of the Year as well. So yeah, 1 out of 20. Not good. Not good. Definitely need to improve on my predictions for next season. That is for sure. But if you have enjoyed this video of me reacting to my Premier League predictions, then please hit that like button. That would be very, very much appreciated. And as I said, hit that subscribe button as well. But yeah, that is the Premier League season done and dusted for another season. It has been an absolute joy to do this as well, and we will see what happens next season. But yeah, hopefully I can get better at predicting teams to finish in the table. That is for sure. But until then, it is goodbye from me, and I will see you all in the next video. Enjoy your summer. Enjoy Euro 2020 when it comes. Should be very, very interesting for sure. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Enjoy your summer. The Premier League predictions will be back in the summer. And I'll be back with predicting this table again. So hopefully I can get a lot better next time. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.